What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the Tribit Stormbox 2. This is a waterproof Bluetooth speaker that puts out a room-filling 360 degrees of audio. Taking a look inside the box, you have your manual, your charging cable, which is a USB-A to USB-C cable, and last but not least, you have the actual speaker itself. Taking a look at the speaker itself, this is definitely a simple but nice looking speaker. It's not too heavy, but it does have a good heft to it, which is always a good thing when it comes to speakers. As you can see, you have three very large buttons here in the front, so you can easily control your music, whether that be play or pause, track forward, track back, or volume up and down. All around this speaker, you have this fabric mesh material. As I said earlier, this is a 360 degree speaker. So with the regular speaker, you just put it somewhere, it's just going to output in front of you, and you're not really going to get much audio in the back. But this is meant to be placed somewhere in the middle of the room, and this is going to output sound in all directions. This also has an IPX7 waterproof rating. So besides placing this in the room, you could also throw it in the pool. And same like I said before, it's going to transmit audio so everyone in the pool can hear it as well. Coming around back, this is where you have all your buttons. You have your power button, Bluetooth button, X bass button, which is basically a bass boost. And then you have your link button, so you can connect more than one speaker as well. Right down here, you have a waterproof flap. And inside of this, you have your auxiliary port and your USB-C charging port. All right, so diving into the audio specifications, this has a total of 34 watts and it has two 48mm full range drivers as well as two passive radiators as well, one on the top and then one on the bottom. As you can see, it has a slight arc on the base, so when you're listening to it, you could place it on the side like that, or you could place it upright as well, and it's not going to interfere with the bottom radiator. As far as connectivity goes, this has Bluetooth 5.3. Compared to older Bluetooth versions, this is going to give you better range, better battery life, and better quality. According to the specs, this also has up to 150 feet of range. All right, so I said it before and I'll say it again. If you're not familiar with this brand, definitely look at them and take them more seriously, because this is definitely one of the best Bluetooth audio brands out there. I believe I first heard about this brand on a YouTube video several years ago, and this actually ended up being my first Tribit speaker. This is the original Tribit Stormbox 1. I believe when it first came out, it actually had a different name as well, but I don't remember what it is. So right here, this is the part 1 and this is the part 2. So as you can see, they're very similar looking speakers. A few differences. So right here, this is their old logo and this is their new logo. If I'm being completely honest, I do like their old logo better. Coming up top, as you can see, the buttons look pretty much exactly the same. Flipping it around, as you can see, it did change the button style. This had these little recessed buttons. They're still actual buttons, but they kind of look like touch-sensitive buttons. And now in the new one, they have these actual buttons. And I do like the way these feel a lot more. Looking at the passive radiators, these are different as well. This one is a shiny plastic that has their Tribit logo, just the text on it. And this has their actual logo on it now with some design. This one has a rubber coating on it. New one definitely looks a lot better than the old one. Just looks more high quality. And then you can see they also changed the strap as well. On the old one, you have this rubber strap. And then on the new one, you have this fabric strap. So design differences aside, there are some key differences between these two speakers as well. So the old one is only 24 watts, but the new one is 34 watts. That might not sound like a lot, but that's almost about 30% more output. So the new one is definitely going to sound better as well as get a little louder as well. The old one only has 20 hours of battery life and the new one has 24 hours of battery life. Not too much of a difference, but if you're someone that likes to listen all day, that's definitely going to help a lot. I did some comparisons between the two speakers and I definitely like the way the new one sounds more. They're both good sounding speakers, don't get me wrong. This one just sounds a little more fuller and like I said, it does get a little louder as well. Alright, so now that we covered all the basic specifications, let me go ahead and get this hooked up so you can see how the speaker sounds. So this is the speaker playing at about 80% volume with X bass on. X bass off. This is a more bass heavy song. We'll see how it sounds with and without X bass. Right now, X bass is off. X bass on. X bass still on. X bass off. Alright, so as you heard, definitely a great sounding speaker, very clear, lots of bass to it. If I had to choose between this one and a JBL Flip, I am 100% going with this one every single time. I just like the Tribit sound profile more, and then the speaker is also cheaper as well. If you don't like the sound profile this has and you want it a little more brighter, maybe want more bass, it's also okay because this also has app connectivity. So when you connect the app, you can change different sound profiles and even make your own as well. I'll show you how that works in a little bit. One observation I made, since this is a 360-degree speaker, sound comes out from here, here, and here. So if you place it like this, it's going to get very muffled and it's going to sound like the sound is being blocked. So it doesn't sound very good. So for the best audio, definitely place it up. But if you want to lay it down, you can also do that as well. But I would recommend laying it down like this. This way, the audio is kind of coming out and going to all directions still, and you're not blocking any of the audio path. But yeah, like I said, definitely a good sounding speaker. I like the X bass, but with some songs, like the basic song that I had in the test, it sounds a little too overwhelming. So for that one, it's better to turn it off. But then there's other songs that don't have too much bass, and that's when it's better to have it on. So it's good to have that option. This is something that I will turn on and off depending on what I'm listening to. Once again, this is a 360-degree speaker, so it's meant to be used alone, and it's just going to radiate sound all around it. But one other difference between the old one is this one you cannot link more than one speaker, so you just have this speaker and you can't link a second one. But this one does have true wireless stereo, so if you have a larger room or you just want to fill it up more and make sure the sound is going completely everywhere, you can also hook up more than one of these as well. Alright, so taking a look at the app, this is what it looks like. So when you first open it up, you see all your speakers right here that have the app connectivity. I have a lot of Tribit speakers, so on this phone, I just have these two here. But as you can see, this is all the speakers that I have. So I have the X Sound Plus 2, Aqua Ease, I have two Stormbox Blast speakers, and then I have the Stormbox and now the Stormbox 2. So once again, definitely a big fan of this brand. Not trying to shill them or anything like that, but I think their speakers just sound really good, especially for the price. So clicking on the speaker, this is what you'll see. As you can see here, I do have a firmware update for the speaker. That's another good thing about this company. As time goes and as they find ways to improve it, they do update the sound profile and other features as well. So I definitely got to do that update soon, but that's going to take a while, so I'll do that after the video. So on the main page, you just got your battery life, your volume, and then your speaker controls. Right over here, this is what I talked about earlier. You have a bunch of preset equalizers built into the speakers. So the first ones are the ones that are already on the speaker, which is X bass and X bass off. But you also have audiobook, classical, rock, and jazz. But if you don't like any of these, you can come up here to customize, click this plus button, name your EQ. And as you can see here, you can fine tune your speaker however you like. If you go on YouTube and other websites, you can actually find a bunch of different EQs that people have made for these speakers. So whenever I'm bored, I usually go try those out, and some of those do sound very good. As you can see here, you can also add more than one EQ as well. So if you have something that's more neutral audio, then if you want something that's really bass heavy or more treble, you can also add that here as well. So it's always great to see a speaker with app connectivity where you can fine tune the sound, because even if you don't like how it sounds out of the box, you can go ahead and change it and get it to sound just the way you want. Overall, this is definitely a solid Bluetooth speaker. For the price, it has good sound, good bass, and good output as well. So overall, if you happen to be looking for a Bluetooth speaker around this size, I would highly recommend this one here, which again is the Tribit Stormbox 2. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.